Once again, sorry guys, my camera stopped recording. So when he sees that you have the desire to give, right? When you give, right? It's because you have you feel pain in your heart for seeing the condition of that person, or that animal, or that organization. You have compassion. You feel pain. You feel pain because you're like, I want to do something. Okay, so whether that's money, whether that's giving something that you have in your home, or maybe you like to make things, like maybe you do crafts, maybe you make birdhouses, maybe you make you do furniture, maybe you paint, maybe you sew, maybe you bake, maybe you cook. Anything that you do, whatever you do, whatever skill you have, you use it, apply that to bless a person, an organization, or a pet organization, the Humane Society. Okay, whatever you can do, use that to bless something or somebody. It doesn't have to be in a big way. For example, if you like to cook, go home and make a cake. Go home and make some soup and bring it to a place where homeless people get fed. Right? Now, whenever it comes to baking or cooking, anything that you're going to eat, even juice, any kind of drink, even if you're going to give like things that you don't like, what I'm trying to say is you have to be careful with allergies. Okay? When you're going to give something to eat or to drink to a place, make sure that you also include a piece of paper that includes all of the ingredients. Do not miss anything out, because if somebody eats something that you make with an ingredient in it that you have not listed, it can seriously injure them or possibly cause death, guys, because allergies is a very serious thing. So you have to be very careful. So make sure that you write down the list of ingredients for all of the things that you're making when you hand in the food or the drinks, like juices, that you're giving. Okay? One time I knew of this lady who was given artificial peach juice, and she started having an allergic. She was telling me and some other people a story of how a friend of hers gave her a drink, and the drink was artificial peach juice. Now this lady, she was allergic to real peaches, but the artificial peach juice, it might have maybe some kind of, maybe a certain percentage of the real peach juice in there, or something in there about the peach that gave her an allergic reaction. So please be careful. Even if it's artificial, you need to make that clear in your list, because you don't want to get into trouble, for causing any kind of a medical harm in someone. Okay, so be very careful. So yes, so guys, again, when God blesses you back for you doing something, like first, it's because of the condition of your heart. And for some of you who never give, and who are now suddenly thinking, oh good, that's an excellent way for me to get blessed. I'm going to start giving money now. I'm going to start doing whatever I can to give so that God can bless me back. I've got news for you, mi hermano y mi hermanita, my brother and my sister. You guys will never get blessed because of the motive in your hearts. God will never bless a person who only gives for the purposes of getting back, because that is a self-centered person. That is a person who is self-interested. They only do something in order to get something back. They don't care about whatever needs they're fulfilling. They don't care about the person or the organization or the animals that they are helping. That's not their motive. That is not the purpose for why they are giving. They could care less about whether these people or these animals die. All they care about is what can be done back for them. And that is a very serious state to be in, because God in the Bible says He only blesses and He loves a cheerful giver. A cheerful giver are people who are willingly giving from their heart because it matters to them the state and the condition of the person or organizations are in. Okay, so if a greedy person who is self-interested is going to give because they think they're going to give back, it will never work for them. Okay, that is how God works. He sees, he hears, he knows everything. He knows all about you. Stingy, stingy person, coward. That you are. For those of you who are stingy, 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 coward people that you are, He will never bless you. So I am very happy that He will never bless you, because you don't need any blessing. You don't need any blessing that would come to you if you were a good person while you are still in the state that you're in, which is despicable, right? You are a despicable coward, because only cowards do things the wrong way. Cowards do things the wrong way. They never do anything for the sake of, doing something because it really matters to the other person or to the organization. They only do things because it matters to them. They are people who only do things as long as they are getting something back. Okay? They are only doing something for the purposes of self-interest. They have no intentions of helping for the sake of really fulfilling a need. They're only doing it because they know that they could get something for them. All right? So just, guys, for you greedy people, learn how to be a person who is filled with God's heart. Okay? People who give because they care, they exist with or inside of God's heart. God's heart lives inside of them. But people who are stingy, those of you who are listening who are stingy, you are existing in the devil's heart, because the devil, he likes to take. He takes and takes and takes, and he doesn't give back. That's what you are. You are a devil's child. Okay? Sorry, guys, but that's the reality of the things. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm not going to put sugar on anything that I am saying when it comes to truth. All right? Because the truth, if it's sugar-coated, if it's hidden, if it's watered down in any way, will not teach anybody any valuable lessons. It teaches, like when you don't sugarcoat the truth, it teaches you and me, the actual facts and the reality of certain situations. Okay? All right, so I think I'm finished, and it is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's very cloudy. Well, if I have enough time, maybe I'll talk about one more thing. One more. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember of a certain thing that God told me. There are so many. I'm trying to remember. Well, I had this friend. I had this friend that I knew some years ago, and we're no longer talking. But I sent them a box with some gifts. They're in the U.S., and when they received the box, this ex-friend had a family with children and a spouse. And so when I sent them the box, and when this friend opened up the box, they found several things in there that they were needing, only I did not know that they were needing. Some of their children were needing items that they were really needing. And that was God again telling me, when I was picking out these things at the store, I was picking out things I did not know this friend's children would be needing. So whenever God, like I said at the beginning, whenever God tells you, whenever you're buying something or getting something for somebody, you don't always know that God is the one that's leading you to get that thing, that particular thing. right? So then once you give the items to the friend or to the people that are needing these things, that you're going to give these things to, then that's when you realize, that's when you find out, what things were needed, or which particular things were needed. So I was I was like, wow, that's so cool. I had no idea that, one of your kids was needing this thing. So yeah, that's really cool, guys. So that's why it's good to be, when you feel like a pull in your heart to give, right? And you don't understand that it's actually God telling you, whether it's God telling you or not, right? When you feel, the thought comes to your mind, maybe I should give that, but maybe I shouldn't. Go with, yes, I'm going to give that. Okay? In more cases than not, it is God that's telling you. We have to be obedient, because like in my case, guys, I was disobedient twice, right? That one lady, her daughter went without a pair of winter boots that she was needing for our winters, for practically our whole winter. So who knows what she was using? Her feet were probably getting wet and cold because of my disobedience, because I wouldn't give up the boots. And then my other friend was needing a winter coat, and I was disobedient for 1 month and 2 weeks, and she went without a winter coat for 1 month and 2 weeks, because the coat she was wearing was the insulation had worn out, right? And it was cold for her. The weather's cold for her, right? So yeah, that's no good. So whenever God tells us, do this, or whenever you feel like, I feel like I need to get that for someone, or I feel like I need to do something for someone, guys, just do it. Just do it, because for every time that we don't obey, that person or that organization goes without that thing for like a longer time. You understand what I'm saying? They suffer for every time we choose not to go and deliver or do whatever God is telling us. Okay, so do that. And once you give, you feel good, right? And by the way, so far I no longer have a problem with giving away something that God is telling me to give away. Yeah. I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. But it hasn't happened in a long time that I've bought something and the Lord has told me to give that certain thing away. Now there have been many occasions where I have bought things since the last time that I gave away, because first it was, I think first it was the boots that I was disobedient with, and then the coat, something like that. But whichever one of those I did last was 5 years ago. So I've in that time I've bought other things for myself, and the Lord has not told me, hey, give this away. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say about the boots. When God was telling me to give away the boots, He was saying, Nancy, give them away. You don't wear them anyway. They're in the closet. They're just sitting there. You don't wear them. This is what He would tell me. And I said, but Father, I love them so much. But He would always say, Nancy, give them away. You don't wear them. They're in the closet. Give them away. And so I was just arguing and arguing about the boots, So that's just, yeah, we have to learn, guys, not to be disobedient. And the thing is, He wasn't even mad at me. He didn't punish me. He was very compassionate with me, but it's not good, guys. Even though the Lord is compassionate, we cannot take advantage of Him because of His compassion. No, I was not taking advantage of Him or taking Him for granted. No, I was being disobedient. But what I'm saying is, I'm very grateful to Him. I'm saying that I'm very grateful to Him that He did not punish me for my disobedience. But thank God that He is very compassionate. Yeah. So guys, when you feel that pull, or when you just feel that you just suddenly get the thought to buy something or do something, do it. And for you stingy people, learn how to tithe. Learn how to tithe. Because unless you learn how to tithe the real way, meaning tithe and give offerings because you really want to, because it means something to you that somebody else will not go without that thing that you are needing to give. Do it, because your life will change, and then you're going to become addicted to giving. I can't stand it when I don't have a need to fulfill. I can't stand it. And you know what I'm saying? It's awful when you don't have a need to fulfill. And the thing is, you only give when God tells you. Like, what I'm talking about is, for those of you, like, I can hear the Lord's voice. For those of you who have developed the ability to hear God very clearly, okay, when He tells you to give, what I'm trying to say is, for those of you who have developed the ability to hear God very clearly, you only give when He tells you. Give when He tells you. But also, when you feel the need to give, God might even tell you, no, don't give there. That's happened to me many times. I'll give you one example. I wanted to give to this one person that I was friends with on Facebook about 4 years ago. He was a staunch believer in Christ. He was a really good person, but there was a problem. He did not like to give, and I had approached him, and I said to my friend, you need to start giving, because you're a believer. You believe in Him. You're a good person. You're all about Christ. But the problem is you don't give, because he was in a huge financial mess. Like, he was financially he was really struggling, and I wanted to help him. And I said, Father, I want to help him. And God said no. Right? No, like the first time I asked him, Father, why can't I help him? You know, I asked, when I found out about my friend's situation, I wanted to help him. And then I asked the Lord, I said, Father, I want to help him. Then God said no. And I said, why not, Father? And He says, because he doesn't give. He doesn't tithe. And I was grieved, because he's such a compassionate human being. He's really good. But because, that's a truck going by, because he refuses to give, God was forbidding me from blessing him. You know why? Because He's going to take the money. Okay, guys, there's a big truck coming. He's going to, oh, sorry. I accidentally almost accidentally tipped over the camera, the tripod. That's a recycling truck that just passed by. It's a biological recycling truck. Okay, so the reason why God said no is because my friend would have taken the money, and although he was not going to blow it on garbage or waste it, he was going to use it for his needs, but he would not have given the tithe or given an offering. That's why God said no. And guys, I was friends with this person. Like, they moved on from me. We're no longer talking. They just moved on. So I knew this person for about 2.5 years. Okay. And for the longest time, every time I would see their picture, I was so grieved, because I wanted to help them. And God kept telling me, I kept hearing Him say, no. And I'm like, Father, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not going to bless him. I'm not going to send him any help. But I just feel so bad, you know. But every time my heart was grieved for him, I would always hear God say no. Okay, and even up until the point in time when he moved on, like, we just lost. We're no longer talking. There was no fight or anything. No, nothing like that. He just he just moved on. I don't know where he went. He just left. He just moved on, right? So even up until the point when the last time that we spoke, he was still in that state. He refused to give. I told him why he was in that state. I said the reason why he didn't, and my friend did not tell me that he was not tithing. God told me that, and I told my friend, I said, look, the reason why you are in a financial mess, but why you are struggling, is because you refuse to tithe. You won't tithe. And he just kept quiet. He kept quiet. He wouldn't say anything because it was true, right? He just kept quiet. I said, look, if you want your situation to change, you need to start tithing, trusting God. I had so many of these conversations with him, but he wouldn't listen. And up until the time, like I said, up until the time that the last time we spoke, he was still struggling horribly. And I always felt bad for him. But guys, we cannot disobey God when he tells us to not bless somebody because they're being disobedient, because we're going to get punished for that. And I'm not saying that don't bless, don't disobey an order just so that you can't get you won't get punished. We have to be obedient to God because we want God's will in every situation, and we have to it has to matter to us. God's will has to matter to us, no matter who is involved, no matter what the situation, because it's going to grieve God if we disobey Him. It's going to grieve Him, you know. So, yeah, that made me very sad. But what can you do, guys? You try and help people. You try and help a person by giving them the information, the exact information that they need in order for their situation to change. But they still refuse to take that information. Why? Because they don't believe it. And God says, just test me. No matter how bad your situation is, test me and see if I don't change your circumstances. But this is the kind of Christian that I was dealing with. And many of you listening to this are in the same position. You are in financial hardship because you refuse to tithe. Now, guys, there are situations where you will find okay, for example, there are situations where there will be people that God will bring into your life who are living for Him, but they do not have any money to tithe. In that case, God will tell you, give them this amount of money, and then they will tithe from there, and then their situations will change, right? I've been in that situation where God has presented people in my life who were completely broke. They had nothing. All they had was sand in their pockets. That's how poor they were. So God will bring these people into your life so that you can put funds into their life, so then they can get a boost, like a boost. B for ball, O for open, S for Sam, T for Tom. Boost. A boost is like a big push, like pushing. You will push them into another level where they will be able to help themselves. And God knows that that person will tithe. And even if God knows that that person will not tithe, He will still bless them, right? To give them the opportunity for their lives to change. But in this case, you know, I've helped people. I have helped a few people in this situation where they didn't have anything. And now you would not believe the changes that have taken place in their lives, because, guys, these people, I'm telling you, they were so poor. And now, because they have been obedient with the finances that they received, now their lives have changed, have turned around. One of their lives has completely turned around and continues to get better. And the other ones' lives, they are in the process of turning around because they just got blessed, right? So, yeah, that's how serious it is, guys, when it comes to, tithing and blessing and tithings and blessings. And remember, we need to give the tithe and the offering. Both of them are commands, both. Okay, just become accustomed to it. For those of you who are struggling, tithe. Give a tithe. Okay, if you don't have the money, if you don't have anything, any money, look, guys, look. Even if you have $10, give away $1. Give away $1 from the $10. Go to the church and give away $1. Pray over the tithe and say, Lord, I thank you for this tithe. Please use it for whatever you want. And Lord, please bless me so that my situation will turn around. Lord, I want a business. I want to go to school. Whatever you are needing, be specific. Be specific when you pray. So pray before you release the tithe. Pray. Be specific with what you want. God already knows, but you need to speak. Speak, because your words have power. Your words have the power to give life, and your words have the power to give death. So speak whatever you want, and God will make sure that it happens as long as you are obedient, and can be consistent. Tithing is not just, I'm going to give this week. I'm not going to give next week, but I'm going to give this week. I think I will give next week, but then I will give in another 3 weeks. No, you have to be consistent. It's a command. You have to do it every time you, whatever you get, for example, if you get paid like $50 every week because you're doing a very small job, you have to tithe from that every week. If you're getting paid $1,000 a month, tithe from that. whether you're receiving, no matter where the money is coming from, okay, wherever the source of the money is coming from, you need to tithe and give an offering. Okay, so what I do is the offerings, you know, the tithe is 10% of whatever you get, right? And the offering is an amount of your choosing. Okay, so yeah. Okay, guys, so my voice is wearing out and I think I'm done and I'm gonna go now. So yeah, now it's 1:20 and I've got to go eat lunch. My lunch was late. I mean, I'm late for eating lunch. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna go, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe so that you won't miss my other videos. Whenever I upload them, you will be notified. Okay, bye guys. God bless you.